We actually have a look at what happened in the third YCS out of the weekend. Yes, I know it's Friday, but that's okay because information doesn't stop. Don't be like 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. This is as much info as I've seen people be able to put together out of Bogota here for the, the SA 250th. So remember, there were 3 250th YCSs out of the weekend here, and we actually have a look here into the most mysterious one, actually. For this flowchart here, we have 14 cash tira in terms of your top 32. Now, it's not quite the 50% benchmark that we've been a little bit more used to for a lot of these breakdowns. I mean, cash tira ran it through relatively easily through the other 2 YCSs. So to see here that your breakdown for this is so strong in terms of cash tira, even at this point, is really, really strong. We also had 3 Naturia Runic decks. Now, you shouldn't be surprised about this. Naturia Runic has been a massive powerhouse contender here, tearing through a lot of the metagame, catching a lot of people with their pants down. That's my new favorite saying. If you're not prepared for like Naturia Beast plus, you know, the stupid trap card to search toggle for all the negates, you know, Mole Cricket setting up and doing its thing, then you probably have no idea what you're doing in this format. We also had 2 Math Mech players in terms of your top cut. Once again, I'll stick by this. Mathmech OTK is crazy. People that don't pay attention to this, or they're like, what in the world's going on here? Yeah, you will get steamrolled very, very hard by the just circular OTK. Like, it's ridiculous. We also only had 2 Despia decks in the top cut for this. And people say they want Expulsion banned when the deck just loses to, like, an Ash Blossom and Joyous Ring. Like, it's that easy to you know, curve out that deck. Now, the biggest thing here was we actually had 2 Labyrinth in top cut here. Labyrinth everywhere else looked like it massively failed. Like, the deck looked like it had no chance to stick around, and here we actually found it had success. We also had the one-of category here. We had 1 Sword Soul in top cut. That deck has been holding on for dear life. Even though it hasn't really gotten much else, it still is able to kind of capitalize on a lot of the same consistent options that it's had, and has maintained a lot of its presence here. We also had Sprite Melfi as a one-of in terms of the top cut. Not too bad to see that. And we also had Rika Sonno Avalon. You gotta love plant good stuff as the deck kind of develops and continues to be its thing. Now, there are 6 decks that are unknown as of the filming in this video. This was the closest that we could get to a pie chart completion to kind of get this data out to you so you could kind of see, you know, how the third YCS actually looked. And honestly, I'm not surprised. Everything here follows the same trends that we've seen across the board for the rest of the events, and I'm not really too surprised by that. Let's pass on over so you can take a look at some of these top deck lists. All right, the first deck we're going to be looking at here is Labyrinth, scoring a top 32 finish, which is kind of interesting to me. Now, remember, this is all pre-Chaos Angel. Once we actually get Chaos Angel, we'll see if this deck can kind of stick around more of a mainstay here. We're playing double Terrors of the Overroot, which is the first thing that kind of catches me off guard here a little bit. I do think that Terrors of the Overroot is an extremely good card, but it's going to come down to a lot of player preference in terms of development for what they want to do here. We are playing 1 copy of the Green Maid, which is fine. We're actually main decking triple Ash in here as well, and we're not playing any of the larger lovely Labyrinth shenanigans. We're not even playing the field spell, so they've cut off a lot of the fat in terms of, you know, capitalization and things. No Temple of the Kings either. That's something that was kind of starting to show up a little bit, which I didn't think was really that good, but you can definitely tell that some of the ideas and things that are being thrown around here actually are working out in terms of the development for the deck. Shout out to Bucephalus down there for being the best yeet target that you could ever actually want. Next up here is our Rika Sun Avalon shenanigans, and of course you're going to notice a general trend here. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of sea turtle going around right now. Kaijus are all over the place here as players are finding chances to put these in and do the thing. You're also going to notice we have the Naturia Rose Whip down there in the side deck. The Rose Whip actually is meant to limit your opponent in terms of the amount of spells and trap control that they can do. We're actually citing the Water Art area to actually look at your opponent's hand. Yeah, attributing a water monster to look at your opponent's hand and take away an option from them. I haven't seen a lot of hand control anywhere, anytime recently. So to see that this deck is getting the chance to kind of take advantage of one of the oldest tricks that Monarchs had up their sleeves is actually quite beautiful. I'm going to clap for that. That is actually awesome. Wish somebody else would have had success with that, so we could have seen that idea a little bit sooner. Next up here is our Sword Soul list. Oh boy, so our main deck and double evenly matched. We have no Thrust in here, which is kind of interesting to me. The fact that Thrust is such a power card, but you hardly see anybody actually exploring it anymore in terms of the main deck here. Because, I mean, what's the point of main decking too evenly if you can't Thrust in the other? We are playing the one Synthana. 10E normal numbers look about what you would expect, I feel like, for this list. And of course this deck is getting the access to the Psychic End Punisher. Trust me when I say this deck getting the chance to make the Psychic End Punisher is incredibly devastating. Psychic End Punisher just turning into one of those monsters that really can just rail on your opponent and they don't really have an out for it. Trust me when I say this, you really should give some consideration to how good Psychic End Punisher is for the temporary time being. Outside of that, I mean, everything looks about what you would really expect here. Next up here we have Mathmech. Shout out to the Kaiju main deck here. Trust me when I say this too. The fact that you can Small World Bridge Gap with your Kaiju in the main deck is hilarious, because anytime that you can toggle for a Kaiju to out an opponent's immediate threat is beautiful. It is the thing that definitely puts this deck a little bit more over the edge here in terms of, oh no, what am I supposed to do? Also do keep in mind that because we do play Small World, we're one of the only few decks that really can take advantage of that, you can see more use of certain choices down here in the side deck. Like the Archfiend Eccentric, for example, has been another fantastic Small World bridge that we have seen pop up time and time again here to make bridging the gap a whole lot better. We also have Mistaken Arrest in here. I see that we are also playing the Magic Deflectors down here as well. So you do see some key differences here for this. Now, you just saw that shift, right? Both of these main decks are actually the same. Both duelists, one made top 16, one pushed their way into top 8 here. And once again, I mean, if you have two lists that are doing pretty much essentially the same thing here, then you gotta question the fact that maybe this was an optimal build. You know, especially, once again, I re-reference the Kaiju here. The fact that you can bridge for that. It's side deck options down here, bridging the gap. The only difference between like the Mistaken Arrest and whatnot was the difference of dimensional barriers in the main deck. And that is actually, that says something, right? The fact that just 3 cards difference between the two lists set them apart from top 16 to top 8, once again proves that, you know, circular OTK, the fact that if your opponent doesn't know how to handle this matchup, they'll just randomly lose to the craziest things. And I don't know. Mathmech has been one of those decks this format that just catches people off guard and they don't really know what to do. Next up here we have some Kashtira. Now, we are playing triple Thrust in the main deck with no evenlies, which is very interesting. I guess we're just opting to search for Lightning Storm? That's an interesting choice of card usage there. See that we're main decking a Harpy's Feather Duster as well. We're playing a Pankratops as well. So is this build just kind of meant to aim for like going second? Because I see we got Droll's Ghost Bells, Dimension Shifters, and Sphere Modes down on the side deck. I guess whatever that this duelist is worried about that they have access to out. I see that we're also playing Kumamungus in here as well. We're only playing one Arise Heart in the main, or one Rise Heart in the main deck for the monsters. That's actually kind of hilarious. It definitely proves how bad people view some of these card choices in terms of the deck building process here. So overall, not too bad. I like what I'm seeing here for this. And then we also have, oh boy, Despia made its way all the way to top 4 here. We're playing double Book of Eclipse, double evenly matched, so you'll be able to offset and punish the opponent for whatever that you need to. We have branded and reds, of course, branded fusions. In terms of the way that this is looking here, this feels I mean, once again, you're relying on the Dark Dragoon to take advantage of the opponent. Some seer modes. Yeah, this is pretty tacked out, actually. Like, you even have access to kaijus in this as well. I like this. This is by far one of the more structured builds that I've seen. So what do you guys think about everything out of this event? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.